MHP was, I think, the brainchild of Governor Mike Dukakis, who was a big thinker, and also the late, great Amy Anthony, his housing secretary. And I think they had a vision that there should be more involvement of local people, and they created this partnership. And it evolved into a fund, so basically a bank account with some flexible money, and was further enhanced over the years with more legislation and more authority and more funding, more resources, but it always stayed true to its origins of local people and coming up with solutions that are new and different. Well, MHP is a powerhouse. It's a small organization that does a tremendous amount. I was here in the early years, and we were just making it up, and that was why it was so fun. And I think that's why we were so effective. We weren't put in a box. We were given a pretty broad mandate and some flexible funding. And we just tried to figure out how could we be the most effective.
So I think MHP has been really critical in a number of instances throughout history. So back in the it was probably the 80s and 90s, there was a flurry of bank mergers. And when banks merged, there was capital set aside for community investment. And MHP was the conduit for that capital that then got invested in local communities. And so that was sort of the first time when I think MHP really played a critical role as this conduit of capital coming from the banking system into communities. The people at MHP are super smart, talented, and committed to the work. And I've worked with many of them over, many, many years of my career. And they're terrific people and have always done a great job at being creative and expanding resources and opportunities for people statewide.
What is MHP's secret sauce? It's in their name. It's partnership. They live it, and they show that through working with nonprofit organizations, working with from the State House to the City of Boston and all across the state, making sure that they understand what the community needs are, and then reacting or acting or planning based on those needs. I'm sitting here today as someone that has benefited from the Soft Second/1 mortgage program because of individuals that have been in the trenches since the beginning. Maha's partnership with MHP started because Maha, including Tom Callahan, Hilary Pizer, and all of these individuals within the industry, the nonprofit industry, actually put in the work to get this done. One might ask, why do we need MHP? Why did we need them 40 years ago? Why do we need them now? Systemic racism is real. It's not a myth. I've lived it, and I've known family members, friends, people that we serve that I've lived it, and it's deeply steeped in homeownership opportunities. And until we have solved that issue, we're having access to a home, if you so desire, to purchase that home at a reasonable rate that matches your income, we will need it. We can't stop. We have to continue to push the envelope and to push against the no's and to push against all the things that is set up against having low and moderate income individuals owning their homes.
So I think by its very nature, trying to advance affordable housing has always been filled with a lot of turmoil and controversy and resistance. And what we've been able to partner with Mass Housing Partnership is being able to be advocates in our community. And for example, we started a housing institute for the 8 towns that we serve on the Lower and Outer Cape. And we completely stole the idea of MHP's Housing Institute that they do every year. And we collaborated with MHP in designing it, in securing speakers, in putting the curriculum together. And so for the past 8 years, MHP has been a critical partner in ensuring that our elected and appointed officials on Cape Cod have the experience and skills to be able to solve our affordable housing crisis. MHP brings both real experience in producing housing, which is an incredibly complicated field, So that is a vital resource that they bring to their work in collaborating with us. But then also the amazing data that MHP puts together and has available. Like, we can come in and really drill down and be able to talk to a community about what the data and the facts are in that community that should inform setting priorities and allocating resources and coming up with plans that will respond to the needs. But then the other thing I love too about MHP is that they also understand that it's not all about data. It's also about the people and the stories, and we can work together to provide the facts and the data, but also put a human face on that data so that people can understand that those facts and figures are my neighbors, they're my family members, they're my employees, and we need to work together to find housing for them.
At MHP, I think we've really shown what's possible. We've demonstrated that we can build additional political support for housing, that we can be more creative about using financing to make home ownership affordable, to build more affordable rental housing, that we can change state laws that get in the way of the housing we need, and that we can develop new innovative legislation, new ideas, new approaches that help us address the housing crisis and make housing affordable for everyone in the Commonwealth. We've shown it's possible, and there's so much more to be done, and we're prepared to do it. What I would tell the next generation of leaders is be bold, don't sell yourself short, don't sell your ideas short, to believe what's possible, to take a long view. It takes 5, 10, 20 years to achieve meaningful change. And a number of the biggest successes at MHP have been ideas that we seeded many, many years ago. So think big, think long term, and believe in the power of ideas and strong leadership.